everyone. Welcome to today's Knowledge webinar, Digital Transformation in CAD, Reshaping Collaborative for DWG Drawings. Today you'll learn how cloud and mobile are reshaping the collaboration around 2D and 3D CAD drawings in DWG. In fact, according to a recent study, 84% of engineers and executives consider as critical for their success to involve early the extended design team. And the ARES Trinity enables teams to achieve true collaboration across platform, just leveraging cloud and mobile technologies. Today's webinar presenter are Cyrena Respini-Irwin, who started as a senior editor for CAD magazine, including Catalyst.com, and where she also became the editor-in-chief. And she covered CAD and related technologies for more than a decade. And in 2021, she found a new home at Graebert as a brand ambassador for ARES Trinity of CAD software. And Cédric Desbordes started as an entrepreneur, launching a business developing new DWG-based CAD shortly after his graduation, and now after he joined Graebert in 2013, and after 20 and plus years of experience in CAD, is on a mission to help the CAD users understand the benefits of cloud and mobile in the CAD workflows. Thank you, Cédric. This is a great mission to have. And of course, we are Novage, and we're changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, advices, and we're really quick at delivering what you need and when you need it. Thank you so much, guys. I mute my microphone and let you lead and run the show.
Thank you, Barbara. So cloud and mobile technologies have been around for some time now. This isn't brand new. And with the pandemic situation, many companies have had to reorganize their workflows to enable employees to work in home offices or remotely from other locations. This reorganization has considerably accelerated the digital transformation of our economy, but it's also raising a lot of questions. So today, we want to adopt a very pragmatic approach to help bring some clarity for you on these topics. We hope that at the end, you'll better understand the benefits, and most importantly, realize that you can convert this challenge into an opportunity. So normally we would talk about who Graebert is. If you're not familiar with the company, give you some idea. Today, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. But the most important thing is for you to know that Graebert has been around for a long time, for more than 40 years. We have a lot of experience in this area. And most importantly for you to understand today is that Graebert is an innovation leader in the world of mobile and cloud. And Cédric, can you take it for just a moment, please?
Sorry?
Can you take over for just a moment, please?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
So the agenda for today, we have been splitting the presentations into 4 parts. So the first part is about what are the benefits and in general, I mean, as an introduction. Then after we will focus at the benefits, but from different user perspectives. So from the perspective of the user that is producing drawings at the office, from the perspective of technical work on site, and at the end, what is the benefit for the CAD user that is working remotely.
Thank you, Cédric. So we'll start off with our first topic, which is looking into the benefits. And to begin with, we'd like to highlight the key areas that are common problems that lots of people experience, and those are places where cloud and mobile technologies can really help you to gain an advantage. I'd like to start from this statistic that Barbara mentioned earlier. This is taken from a survey about cloud CAD that was conducted by PTC Onshape. And this is an especially interesting survey because it was one of the first such surveys done since the beginning of the pandemic. Out of nearly 1,000 professionals, 84% replied that there's basically something broken in the collaboration around CAD data. The users working on CAD drawings are too isolated from the rest of the company, and especially from the other users who are working with drawings that they're producing. To put it in other words, The world has changed, but CAD is still done in a very old-fashioned way, while other activities such as accounting, sales, customer support, and marketing are already working in a more modern way. Centralizing files in a cloud environment can bring a lot of benefits. But to be more specific, there are 4 fundamental areas of improvement that we'd like to emphasize today. First is ensuring that any modification to the drawings is instantly shared with all the other users. This is even more important when we are not working in the same location as our colleagues. When the files are centralized and synchronized, that becomes the single source of truth for your project and prevents anyone from working with an outdated version. Secondly, in today's reality, companies need to enable their users to work remotely, in the home office, for instance, but also in the field. With cloud, they can do so not just easily, but also securely to protect their intellectual property. The third point is that cloud is significantly helping to reduce time to market. And you'll see in our demos coming up how email notifications and collaboration tools improve the workflows between the users in the office and their colleagues who are on site. And finally, cloud enables us to extend the collaboration to colleagues and to customers who can be granted free access to view and comment on the projects. So in our product, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So I'm taking over now to introduce our first demo. So you're going to see different demos today, introducing the different perspectives, as I was telling you. But before we jump into these different perspectives, I wanted to show you this quick introduction that is, I would say, showing how the 3 products work all together.
CAD software aims at improving teamwork around technical drawings. In today's reality, modern CAD workflows are calling for modern tools to work efficiently on DWG files anywhere. Let us introduce you to the ARES Trinity of CAD software, enabling teams to achieve true collaboration across platforms and devices. ARES Commander is simply working as you were always used to, both in 2D and 3D. You can use local files as before, but you can also synchronize your work with a large number of cloud services and enable real-time collaboration with other users and devices. Nothing to install, nothing to update. The online version, ARIESKUDO, allows you to access and modify your files on any occasional computer directly in an internet browser. With Arris Touch, you can take your drawings on-site, and they're always up to date. Feedback can be shared as photos, audios, or text comments. And changes or new contributions will be notified through emails. You can view the version history of a drawing, compare modifications, and, if needed, revert back changes. You could even share a free and password-protected view-only link to a drawing, so that people with no access to ARES products can share their feedback using a browser. Get the ARES Trinity of CAD to embrace modern technologies and improve collaboration. Visit our website to learn more and activate.
Okay, so maybe I would like to say also a few words after this this demo and more generally about cloud. So frequently when we hear about cloud, people are concerned about how it will change their habits or how their IP will be secure. These are questions we hear frequently. And with ARES, the nice thing is that you don't have these problems. So the first point is that you can do it your way, meaning that there is no brutal transition. ARES Commander can work both with local files, like before, or with files that stay in the cloud, and therefore each user can go at its own pace. They can decide when to use cloud and when to use files stored on their machine. The second aspect is what I'm showing here as your cloud, meaning that we are not forcing you to store your drawings on our servers, but we offer instead the possibility to connect our solutions to a very large number of integrations. Could be Google Drive, Box, Dropbox, but also private servers. It's just common sense, because if you already have decided to use some cloud storage, it is out of question to store the DWG drawings completely isolated from the rest of your documents. And the third point is that it's highly secured. Our solutions are highly secured. If you connect your cloud storage with ARES, the files will always stay on this server that you connected. And therefore, the ARES CAD software will only be used to edit the files. We don't copy your files. They stay wherever you decided them to be. So now I'm handing over to you, Cyrena.
Thank you, Cédric. So we see a lot of storage options on this side. And practically speaking, we can connect with virtually any popular storage provider that you might be using. This includes those well-known market leaders such as Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Box, Dropbox, Microsoft SharePoint, but also some industry-specific solutions such as Trimble Connect or Onshape. And for more advanced scenarios, we also support the possibility to connect a private server or to connect with an AWS server from your company. And you may not have a cloud storage provider yet that you're already using. In that case, we offer our ARIESKUDO drive with some free storage. And the Kudo drive makes it easy for you to explore the Trinity features. And if you look in there, you'll find some sample drawings and there's also the capacity to upload some of your own drawings. And now we're going to move on to the next section of the masterclass. And we're going to look at the benefits from the perspective of different users. And to start with, we'll see a user who's at work with ARES Commander.
Yes, so now I would like to introduce you our next video that is actually the first product demo. So ARES Commander is the version that you can install on Windows, Mac, or Linux computers. If you have an ARES license, you can even have multiple computers connected to your license. And in the ARES Trinity, ARES Commander is the equivalent to AutoCAD. But in this demo, we will mostly look at the collaboration features. Those are the features that are leveraging mobile and clouds to improve collaboration.
In this demo, we will see how the Trinity features empower ARES Commander users with modern collaboration tools, helping them to work more effectively with other users, colleagues, and customers, and ultimately to reduce time to market. To begin with, we see here an email notification that I have received. It looks like my customer commented on my drawing, and there's something he doesn't like. The drawing is stored in the cloud, but I can click on the button here and choose to open it in ARES Commander. In the commenting palette, I can find the comment left by my customer, and even zoom to the related entities to better understand the context. In this palette, I can also find the full history of the markups and comments left by my colleagues. I can filter by type and decide what to show or hide, including the elements that were marked as resolved. Markups and comments don't modify the drawing. They represent a collaboration feed that is separate from the drawing and can be hidden if needed. Here is a voice recording from a colleague on a construction site.
I am going to meet with Paul. Do you have any photos of how it would look like at the end?
Now let me show you how I can create a markup with images. I can link the markup to a selection of entities and even upload multiple images to the same markup. Markups help to circulate information no matter where my colleagues are. At the office, on the go, or in home offices, we are always connected as one team. Markups and comments can be created with ARES Commander, ARIS Touch, and ARIESKUDO, but also by free users accessing view-only links. So I have been working on the requested modification, and I just hit the Save button. Because this file is stored in the cloud storage palette is now synchronizing the modifications. One key benefit is that all the other users get my modifications instantly. This includes remote workers using ARIESKUDO or ARIS Touch. And nobody can work on an outdated version. A second advantage is that I can start working on one computer and continue on other devices. If I am working in a home office, I can still access all my drawings. The files follow me on all my computers and mobile devices. To upload another drawing to my cloud folder, I will use the Save to Cloud feature, which is found in the File menu, or among the Quick Access icons. Next, I would select the Storage and Folder. If you have no cloud storage connected yet, you can also use the ARIESKUDO drive. This is also where you can find some sample drawings. One day later, I received another email notification. My colleague Andrea has made a modification in ARIESKUDO. As this project is urgent, it is useful for me to keep receiving such notifications. Otherwise, I can turn them off from the email or from ARIES Commander. Most interestingly, I can manage my general preferences inside ARIESKUDO and decide to receive only a daily recap, for example. ARIES is telling me that Andrea is still working on the drawing, so I am offered read-only access. This ensures that multiple users cannot make conflicting changes. I cannot modify the drawing while my colleague is editing, but I can still view it and access the markups and version history. Indeed, I want to understand what changes Andrea has made recently. In the version history, I can see the history of the modifications made by each user. Most importantly, I can compare the current version with my last version, even if I am currently in read-only mode. Differences are highlighted in color. With the Promote feature, I could revert back to a previous version. But this looks fine, so I will just add a stamp markup and a comment for Andrea. Finally, it's time to ask our customer if he likes the new version. In the Cloud Storage palette, I can further create a view-only link. This link will enable my contacts to view and comment on my drawing online. But if you remember, when we started this demo, there was already a comment from my customer, Paul Bond. In fact, I shared this link with him previously. The view-only links are live updated, so I don't need to send it again. Paul will be able to follow our work until we decide to disable the link. You will hear more about markups and view-only links in the next demos. Fundamentally, the CAD features in ARIES Commander work like those in AutoCAD or other similar CAD software. What is significantly better is how the Trinity features leverage mobile and cloud technologies to substantially reduce time to market and improve collaboration.
So welcome back. I hope you like this this demo.
Cedric, or even they liked, not just they liked it, they have a couple of questions for you.
Really? Already?
Yeah. So Steve is asking, can ARES Commander read and save in DWG format like AutoCAD?
Yes, so that's a question we have frequently. Actually, we use exactly the same file format, DWG. So whenever you create a project with ARES Commander, it is directly saved in DWG format. And we also read any DWG file created with AutoCAD. So you cannot reach higher compatibility simply because we speak exactly the same language.
Excellent. And Dave is asking, how many days of training does a user currently working in AutoCAD would need to get up to speed with ARES?
If it is a user that is currently working with AutoCAD, I would say virtually none, because the look and feel is very close, and it goes down to very special small details. Like, for example, if you have learned from the past some keyboard commands or shortcuts, even whenever the command would have a different name in ARES Commander, there is always an alias, which means that if you enter the command you know from AutoCAD, it will launch the corresponding command from ARES. So virtually known, only that you might leverage some of our videos to learn whatever we have better, especially what you have seen, for example, in the video that is quite new. And I would say also that I'm using this slide here. It's also a good answer. In the demo today, we were not having enough time to really go deep into the features that are similar to AutoCAD. We decided to focus this webinar more on digital transformation. So if you are curious about this topic, I invite you to visit after our YouTube channel. You search for Graebert or Graebert TV, and there is a playlist of ARIES Commander. Especially, you will find these 3 videos that are explaining how we compare with AutoCAD. So the first one in particular would be a good answer, Barbara. Is it easy to switch from AutoCAD to ARIES Commander? And then after, we have other videos that compare the features. If you are curious about how the core CAD features, I would say, compare with AutoCAD.
Great, we love YouTube. Thank you. That was it for now.
So actually, we have one person that is Ralph, that is also commenting that he has some issues to watch the videos. So I'm very sorry to read that, but in theory, it's working for the others, or he's the only one to complain. And in any case, we are happy to share the videos of today after, so they will be in the replay. And also, you can find also some of these videos directly on the YouTube channel as well, right? So if you are just disappointed not to have seen these videos in details, you can just watch the replay or go to YouTube after. Do we have any other question, Barbara?
Not at the moment. So
okay. So actually, this is the slide that we use to ask questions. So it looks like we have been already done through the first questions. And just an opportunity for me to show that next time you see a slide like this is the moment where we want to stop to hear your questions. So in the meantime, while you're watching the rest of the presentation, if you have questions, feel free to ask them and to write them in the panel. And then Barbara will pick them and share them with us. So Cyrena, I hand over to you again.
Great. So now we'll move on. We'll see another demo from another user perspective. And this is the technical colleague who's working on site. And we'll see how mobile CAD makes a difference in that scenario. But before that demo of ARES Touch, let me introduce some use cases. From our experience, the top 5 use cases for ARES Touch are the ones we listed here. Typically, mobile CAD can be used for on-site inspections and maintenance activities, for example. Another example is the coordination of a project. In both cases, technical workers need to access technical information while they're in the field. A third example is visiting customers and making presentations. And finally, ARES Touch is also frequently used for technical surveys and for facility management.
Fine, so it's time now for the demo, the product demo of ARES Touch. The goal of this demo is for you to understand really what is the value for this profile of user that would be the one that is working on site. And most importantly, the question is how this is improving the workflow and therefore also creating value for the other users and for the full collaboration on the project.
ARES Touch is a mobile CAD solution for DWG drawings on Android and iOS. After installation, all the viewing and dimensioning features are available for free. If you subscribe or buy an ARES Trinity license, you will also be granted access to the editing and collaboration features we will see in this demo. ARES Touch can be used on both smartphones and tablets. On a smartphone, the screen is smaller, but this is a device you always have with you. If I receive an email with a drawing attached, I can easily open it with ARES Touch. The File Explorer in ARES Touch helps you to browse files stored locally on the device or in the cloud. ARES Touch connects with all the most popular file storage providers. When the file is in the cloud, it is instantly synchronized, ensuring that all users are always working on the latest version. Another key advantage is that I don't have to plan to download drawings. I can access any drawing at any time, even when I'm not in the office. And I can be sure that the file I will open is always the latest version. ARIS Touch enables you to work even if you have no internet connection, including when the file is stored in the cloud. In the File options, you can choose to make it available for offline use. This also happens automatically when you open a file. When files are stored in the cloud, I will receive notifications, like this one, for the files I was previously working on. This significantly improves collaboration with the other users and helps me to react promptly whenever something requires my attention. From the notification, I can also open the drawing directly on my smartphone. The user interface of ARES Touch is optimized for touchscreens. You can zoom in and out with 2 fingers, pan with 1 finger, or double tap to make a zoom extent. On the right, you will find large icons to access the most important features. You can, for example, navigate between the model space and different layouts. And access the layers list to show or hide layers. You may choose to show all layers to check that nothing is hidden. While reading, you can hide the toolbar if needed. So we could turn off a layer, for example. In the Views toolbar, you will find different 3D viewpoints, which can be helpful when you are working on a 3D drawing. It is also useful to return to a 2D view if the drawing was not saved as you would expect. You will further find a full set of 2D editing features. But when using a smartphone, you will likely have more interest in the viewing and annotation features. The dimensioning tools are found in the Annotate toolbar. You may, for example, need them to check a distance or angle that is not shown in the drawing. This is an opportunity to show you some other touch gestures. When a command is launched, combined with entity snaps, you can hold your finger on the screen to bring up the loop, magnifying whatever is under your finger. You can fly over specific points, and they will appear as selected. You will hear more about editing features later on, when we demonstrate working on the tablet. For now, I would like to show you the Trinity collaboration features. For this, we will go into the Comments toolbar, which opens the palette for comments and markups. At first, we can see here the history of the collaboration feed with the other users working in ARES Touch, ARES Commander, and ARIESKUDO. I can reply to some of these conversations. Most importantly, the comments and markups improve the collaboration between the users in the field, who are using the drawings, and the users at the office, who are creating these drawings. With markups, the ARES Touch user may opt to insert a voice recording to comment with his or her voice. For example, we can record a message like this one, asking for clarification from the office.
I am going to meet with Paul. Do you have any photos of how it would look like at the end?
Similarly, we can comment with a picture recording, inserting one or more pictures taken from the smartphone. We could use this to report an incident or to share information that can help the design team. Finally, another type of markup is the stamps. This is faster and easier than using text. I can use pre-configured stamps or create a new one myself. Most importantly, stamps, and all the markups or comments, do not modify the drawing. They represent a collaboration feed. Therefore, they can be hidden, and the design team will not lose time cleaning up the drawing later. When I create markups, the design team and all the other users will promptly be informed with an email notification without any further action from me. Now, let's take a look at the tablet. Unlike the smartphone, the tablet doesn't fit in your pocket, so it is not always with you. But tablets are now frequently used to replace laptops. Indeed, one advantage of the larger screen is that it is almost the same size as a printed drawing. It is more comfortable to read drawings on a tablet than on a smartphone. Just like on the smartphone, you can access drawings stored locally and those stored in the cloud. The only difference on iOS is that you need to swipe your finger to access the file options and ask, for example, to make the file available for offline use. The features are exactly the same on a tablet, including the dimensioning and collaboration features we saw earlier. But let's take a look now at the editing features. The most essential features are exposed in the Draw, Modify, and Insert toolbars on the right. If you tap on the Play icon, you can see the full list of commands. The command names are the same as in ARES Commander or AutoCAD. We can, for example, call the Hatch command. But for today, we would like to focus on two use cases: block insertion and quick modifications. Before modifying our drawing, it is worthwhile to take a look at the layer tools. Among other options, you can choose to activate a layer by selecting one of its entities. After selecting your layer, you can go in the Insert toolbar to find the block insertion. One use of block insertions is in surveys. For instance, this is a symbol for an electrical socket, and this one represents a desk. This information I have surveyed can help the design team to improve the drawing, and it could be any block. If I select this block, I can find the Properties icon and open the Properties palette, where we can check that the block was inserted in the right layer, or even change it to another layer. In the Modify toolbar, you will find the Quick Modify command. To select the entities, we can either tap on them or hold a finger on screen to bring up the window selection. If we draw the window selection to the right, it will select the entities fully inside. If we draw the window selection to the left, it will make a capture window that also includes the crossing entities. After selection, you will be asked for a base point. You will understand why in just a moment. The Quick Modify command will help you to quickly reorganize content, as you can combine copy, move, rotate, and scale actions with the same selection. If you try the commands available in the Draw and Modify toolbars, you will realize that they follow exactly the same logic as in ARES Commander and AutoCAD. Therefore, if you are experienced with CAD, you can draw virtually anything. With coordinate input, you can enter absolute or relative coordinates. For example, you can define the next point at a distance and angle from the previous one. In conclusion, the goal of mobile CAD is not to replace traditional CAD software, but to significantly reduce the time to market on your projects. You and your colleagues can work faster because modifications are instantly synchronized, and the design team can enrich their work with quick feedback and information from the users in the field.
So we've seen here the video from Arris Touch for the technical workers on site. I think you are now familiar with our recap slide here. That is therefore the one we would like to use to see if we have any questions regarding Arris Touch after what you've seen in the demo.
Yes, we do. So Charlene is asking, can the same user have both a smartphone and iPad? Can the same, I guess, license can be used on both?
Yes, so actually it could even be more than that, because when you have a license for ARIS Touch, you can use it on both Android and iOS. There is actually a slight difference whether you purchase your ARIS Touch license together with ARIS Commander, which we call a Trinity license, and when you buy from the app stores like Apple App Store or Google Play Store. If you subscribe from Apple App Store or Google Play Store, you will get a license that is specific to the OS. So if you purchase on the Apple App Store, the license will work for iPads and iPhones. The same user can have multiple ones. If you purchase from the Google Play Store, you would have also the ability to use the ARIS Touch license on multiple smartphones or tablets, but they would be all Android. If you buy a Trinity license, so if you buy it together with ARIS Commander and ARIS Touch, you can even combine. So you could have multiple mobiles and tablets. It has to be the same user, of course, but it could be either iOS or Android, and you can mix.
Great, mix and match. And is the mobile version able to fully replace AutoCAD? Or because here Mick would like to use it on an iPad and just skip the desktop.
Yes, so you've seen in the video that we've been going, I would say, crescendo in the features, starting from a viewing use case, going after into what could be the collaboration field with the people at the office. And at the end, we were even showing how to modify and create drawings. It's fair to say that it depends also on the device you're using, because obviously if you have a very small smartphone, the screen will be very small and really too small for you to modify drawings. But if you just need to give feedback to the office or view or register a comment and share it as a markup, it's totally fine. Then I think the big question that was if I can use an iPad to replace my laptop, for example. I think that's yes, potentially you have 150 features to create and modify drawings in DWG inside ARIS Touch, but of course you are going to use your finger. So you've seen in the video some tools that are compensating the fact that you have a very big fat finger compared to the mouse you're using on your computer. We use the loop to help you to show what is hidden behind your finger. So we have some tricks like this. That said, I would say that you're still more comfortable to work behind a larger screen and having a keyboard and a mouse. I know that some of you are maybe also expert enough to be able to use a mouse with a tablet, but in general, I think that the use case for a tablet is what we've seen on the video, to make some quick modifications on site. And of course, the main story of the video was to show the collaboration, how we can leverage the fact that the user that is on site can access in real time the drawings as they get modified from the office, always up to date, and also can contribute to improve these drawings with comments, with markups, and this kind of feedback.
Thank you, Cédric. That was, good news. And that's it for questions for now.
Okay, so then I will hand over again to Cyrena.
Thank you, Cédric. So now we're reaching our fourth and final topic for today. You've been hearing a lot about cloud so far. And now it's time to look at ARIESKUDO, which doesn't just use files in the cloud. It is, in fact, a CAD solution that runs directly inside your internet browser. Some users we know are skeptical about CAD software running in the cloud. But the truth is that if you're working all day long behind the same desk, which most of us are, you'll be more likely to use ARIES Commander. ARIESKUDO is a better fit for users who are frequently traveling or working in home offices. It's also very useful for managers who are following projects or teams who are working in different locations or even different countries. And finally, ARIESKUDO is also a fantastic way to extend the design team and enable your colleagues or customers to access the drawings, but in a very secure way.
So to see this in practice, actually, I went a bit too fast. This is the slide for me to introduce the next product demo. That is obviously the one from ARIESKUDO. And in this product demo, you will see therefore how the user that is working remotely is leveraging ARIESKUDO. But I think it's also interesting to see what's the use case, what's the best use case, I would say, to use ARIESKUDO compared to using ARIES Commander. As Cyrena was explaining, we have some interesting use cases, and we would like to show that in that video now.
ARIESKUDO is the first cloud-based CAD solution that offers a full set of features to create, read, and modify DWG drawings online. ARIESKUDO runs directly in the Internet browser. There is nothing to install and therefore nothing to update. The software follows you on any computer, and so do your drawings. That means you can start working on one computer and continue later on another one. It is therefore very well suited for users who are frequently out of the office. ARIESKUDO enables users to create and modify drawings, like in traditional CAD software, but it offers much more than that. The key benefit is that it is a very efficient and secure way to work. First of all, the drawings are synchronized across all users and devices. When the design team modifies the drawing, I can instantly access the latest version. The drawings are always up to date. In addition, collaboration is significantly improved. One example is the email notifications. They help me to follow the progress without even opening the drawing. If I click on the Open button, it will also directly open this specific drawing for me. Before looking at the editing features, we can open the comments and markups. You will find the collaboration feed here. Comments and markups can be linked to specific areas of the drawing, so you can zoom to this area and better understand the context. I can reply to this discussion and even mark it as resolved, but it is not deleted. I can go to the filter and show the resolved comments and markups. Just like in ARIES Commander and ARIS Touch, I can create markups with voice. Please review this. We need technical information about the ceiling we are going to use. Or with pictures. All these markups represent a very organized and clean way to improve collaboration within the design team. I can also create markups with stamps. They don't require any knowledge of CAD and don't modify the drawing. Therefore, nobody would need to delete them before printing or sharing, for example. Speaking of which, ARIESKUDO also offers a very easy and secure way to collect feedback from external users. If you click on the Share button, you can create a view-only link. This link can be used by a colleague or an external collaborator who doesn't have a Kudo or Trinity license. With this link, they can view your drawing online for free. As you can see, this is just a URL to click. They have nothing to install, and they always see the latest version of your file. It is very secure because in the settings of the View Only link, you can revoke access at any time, as well as define an expiration date or password. The truth is that working with ARIESKUDO or the ARES Trinity is a very well-organized way to work. In the sharing dialog, you can see that users can only access files to which they were granted rights. You can always see who has access and revoke these permissions at any time. But the nice thing with ARES is that this security doesn't come at the expense of flexibility. ARIESKUDO is integrated with all the popular cloud storage providers. When you start with ARIESKUDO, we offer some free storage with the ARIESKUDO Drive. This helps you to upload some drawings and explore the features. We also provide a selection of ready-to-use sample drawings. But you can easily connect to other storage accounts and even use more than one. The File Explorer in ARIESKUDO works like a hub. You can browse all these storages and even use the search function across all of them to find a drawing. You can also easily upload drawings from your computer and manage who has access. If you do a right-click on any of these files, you can access more options. Now, let's open one of these drawings. Of course, you need internet to work with ARIESKUDO, but you will never lose your work if your internet connection goes down, because the file is automatically saved on a frequent basis. You can also access the version history and keep track of who modified the drawing. If needed, you can come back to a previous version. Secondly, if another ARIES user is working on the file, you will be offered a view-only access to avoid making any conflicting changes. Finally, let's talk about the editing features. The user interface is very similar to that of traditional CAD software, such as ARES Commander or AutoCAD. Some frequently used features are available in the toolbar on the left. But you will find the rest of the features from the menu if you click on the 3 lines at the top of the toolbar. To begin with, we can find here the dimensioning features. If I use the Smart Dimension, for example, we just need to pick an entity and it will select for me the most relevant type of dimension. Next, I can select the dimension and fly over this small icon to call the dimension palette, where I may add some details. On the right of the screen, you will find the Properties palette. I can move this dimension to another layer and see more options that I can change for the dimension. Now, let's go to the Modify menu. Some of the features you see here are also available in the toolbar, but if you know a command by name, such as Mirror, you can simply use the command bar. Now I will select the entities and mirror them. ARIESKUDO also offers more advanced features that require dialogues. See block insertions, for example. These dialogues are replaced by a palette on the side. But let's make an example with the pattern command. The name is different than in AutoCAD, but it is not a problem because I entered the array and Kudo understands what I want to do. Even when the command has a different name, Kudo will still find it. Finally, let's draw something new. While I am designing, you can see that ARIESKUDO offers all the design assistance that you would expect, including entity snaps, tracking, ortho mode, or options when you do a right-click. As we are working in an internet browser, printing will also be different. To begin with, we can see at the bottom the tabs to switch from model space to the different layouts. In the bottom left corner, you will find the Sheets Manager, where you can modify the settings of each sheet or create a new one. When you are ready to print, there are 2 options to consider. First, you can use the View Only link to share your drawing instead of printing it. This is a better approach if you want your contact to always see the latest version of your drawing. The alternative would be to print to PDF, which you can do from this button you will find in the toolbar. The advantage of this approach would be to capture the current state of the project. The PDF will be generated, taking into account the views and formats configured in the sheets, and this, as an example, is the PDF we generated from our drawing. Depending on your use case, ARIESKUDO can be purchased separately or together with ARIES Commander and Arris Touch when you buy a Trinity license. To try ARIESKUDO, you can visit kudo.graebert.com.
So back to our presentation and let's say the slides. Once again, we have our recap slides, so we are willing to take some questions. Here I see a couple of them.
Yes, we have a question from Steven. Is ARES Commander going to support Intel SGX in-memory encryption for cloud-based drawings?
Okay, so that's quite a technical question.
Right.
For you to understand, you need to know that ARIESKUDO is running on AWS infrastructure. So at the moment, as far as I know, there is no support for AWS to use this kind of technologies. But we would, if the goal is to isolate group of users from the rest of the ARIESKUDO users. In a dedicated environment, we have other methods to achieve that. So I think this would make sense if we look at a larger enterprise customer or at a developer that would like to isolate his users on a dedicated server, right? So we have this option for enterprise customers. So we could create a dedicated AWS infrastructure. You need for that to reach a higher status of users, that is the ARES4 Enterprise license. So there are some minimum requirements in terms of number of users. And we are also working on a new solution for developers that we have started with a few partners, that is the ARESKUDO server. And the ARESKUDO server is mostly aiming at developers who want to start to have a dedicated ARESKUDO infrastructure to run on top of that some own developments, right? So if you would think of how to run a custom-based plugin, or even how to run a vertical application developed on top of ARESKUDO, one way for that would be to have this ARESKUDO server that would be a dedicated infrastructure.
All right, thank you, Cédric. And Liam is asking, can the cloud version work offline?
So I would say the straight answer is no. The ARESKUDO is a solution that works inside your internet browser. So whenever you need it, you need internet. But let me also stress out one important thing, that is, if you are, for any reason, having an interruption of your internet, you are never going to lose anything. Because if you use ARESKUDO, you will notice that there is no save button. Actually, what ARESKUDO is doing is that every few steps, it's going to automatically save what you've done. In the unlikely event that you would lose internet at any point, you cannot continue working until internet is back, but you will not have lost anything. So as soon as the internet is back, then you can continue your work.
Good, that is great news. And can ARESKUDO work with 3D?
So it depends what you mean by 3D. Inside ARESKUDO, I think even in the demo, we were seeing some examples of 3D, like this 3D tower. So you can definitely visualize in 3D, rotate the 3D DWG file. Of course, let me remind you that here ARIES Commander and ARIS Touch and ARESKUDO are solutions for 2D, 3D CAD in DWG, but not equivalent to, say, products like Onshape, SolidWorks, Inventor. So they are not specifically for product design, but you can definitely use solid modeling inside ARIS Commander to create 3D files. The difference in ARESKUDO is that you would visualize 3D, you can rotate, as I was saying, see the different views, you can also comment and draw on 2D even on top of the 3D, but you don't have the solid modeler that is actually coming from the special technology ACES 3D. So the short answer would be that you cannot do solid modeling, but you can visualize 3D and annotate in 2D.
Thank you, Cédric. That was it for questions.
Okay, so then let's continue with the presentation then.
So far, we've seen how each of the three different types of customers can leverage those Trinity features. And now we're going to look at a specific example. This diagram represents a real-life customer. This is a Graebert customer that's a large construction company in Japan. Before migrating to ARES, they had roughly 1,000 users who were all on AutoCAD. And these users are the ones producing the drawings. But the drawings are further used by more than 7,000 technical colleagues who are working on the construction site. And these users used to have only a PDF of the drawing, which was quite limited. And now this company has deployed more than 4,000 iPads with ARIS Touch, and they're able to get real-time updates and to share feedback, as we saw in the demo. And for these remote workers, cloud is also a nice solution if they need to work on a computer, for example. Finally, we see the third circle, and those are the free users. and those could be other employees or customers, and they can use view-only links to share feedback or validation. So the view-only links enable ARES Trinity users to collect faster feedback and validation from non-ARES users. A view-only link is live updated after each modification that you save, and it can be protected with a password or an expiration date. And it makes it very easy for a customer or colleague to comment on and validate your project directly inside an internet browser. And to conclude, we're going to take a brief look at how the solutions are packaged. And Cédric, do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So actually, we explained that there are different types of users, right? So some are, let's say, the heavy users working at the office. For them, it makes sense to have a Trinity license, and for that purpose, we have the bundle of ARIS Commander with ARIESKUDO and Arris Touch that we call a Trinity license. And then after, you've seen in the circle just before that we have an extended circle of users that could be technical co-workers or managers that are frequently on the go. For them, they could buy ARIESKUDO or Arris Touch or use both. And then there is, by extension, a third category of users that would only need free viewing, but that could be also commenting and sharing feedback with these view-only links. So today we didn't have time for that, but if you are curious about view-only links, you can also go to our YouTube channel to see how view-only links are used to generate feedback and validation from customers or from other people in the company. So now I think it's your turn, Barbara, to see how people can buy these types of licenses on the Knowledge website.
Yes.
Maybe just let me make a quick introduction about the 3 different types of licenses. We explained before that ARIS Commander can also be seen as a replacement to AutoCAD. And I think that one of the nice things about ARIS is the flexibility to have plenty of options in terms of licensing. So on the left, you see that ARIS Commander can also be purchased without Arris Touch and ARIESKUDO. If you just want to have a plain replacement for AutoCAD, but you're not yet interested to go into the modern collaboration features that we have seen today, then you could go for the standalone license, and here you have a perpetual license. And then after you have the Trinity license, that is what we have seen today. It's available as perpetual, annual plan, or 3 years plan. And not to forget that we also provide network licenses. In our case, we call that flex licenses. So Barbara,
thank you, Cédric. Thank you. I think what the last couple of years has taught us that collaboration is key. And I just want to show you, this is the Knowledge product page where you can find all the Graebert products, including the Trinity of CAD. Visit knowledge.com. You can call us at any time. Our phone number is listed on every page, so you have no excuses. You can call us to request information, quotes, combination, anything you really need. And Knowledge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, best advice, and faster service. Thank you so much for joining today. I want to remind you that this webinar is being recorded, and you'll find it on our Knowledge YouTube channel. And thank you, Cédric and Cyrena, and welcome aboard. That's all I have to say. Very excited to have you on the Knowledge catalog, and looking forward to many more demonstrations like this one.
Thank you, Barbara.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for having us today, and have a nice day.
Bye-bye.